You keep telling me to make it, yeah, to the spot where we would stay lit, and finish bottles never wasted, yeah, cause that's where I'm from.
Hello and welcome to an episode of On Campus. This is Ashley Ching, Solano County's Miss Fairfield. Today I'm joined with two special guests, Kristin Connor, Dean of Counseling, and Samantha Jackson, a wellness counselor. Thank you for coming here today.
Thanks.
Thank you.
They'll be talking about the Student Wellness Program at Solano campus. Tell us about that program.
Absolutely. So when I arrived here in July of 2017, I was given a lot of feedback that the students have a lot going on in their lives and they need some extra services. So we partnered with JFK University, their current master's and doctoral students or recent graduates, to provide this free service for students.
Fantastic. When there's a lot of stress, how can that show up in students' lives? How does it affect them?
In many ways, really. You start seeing maybe even a decline in relationships, a decline in grades, and altogether your personal life. You have a lack of exercise, you have a raise of stress, you may even become sad and just start feeling like you have no support. And when you do, that's when it's helpful to come in and get an objective view that can help you maybe guide into certain resources that allow you to get a better support or even use what's already in your access.
How does support look like from the Student Wellness Program?
Well, the way we approach it is any student can take advantage of the services. They can contact the counseling department by just coming to our front desk, by emailing us, or by phoning our front desk and saying that they would like to participate in the wellness program. We have a referral form that the student will fill out, or they can fill it out in collaboration with a faculty member, an academic counselor, or anybody else on campus. That's turned in, and then essentially our wellness counselors will take that form, it's all confidential, and move forward with the services from there.
Having it be confidential is so important because I know a lot of people are embarrassed or ashamed that they want to turn to help. How can we help reduce the stigma with approaching wellness?
Well, that's always a struggle on campuses as well, right? Because it's not only a campus situation, it's a society. And within society, how do we break down a stigma? And it starts with people becoming comfortable with themselves. And that's the work we're doing in the room. Become comfortable with yourself, become comfortable with and finding acceptance of where you can move within life. And from there, the conversation happens naturally. And you allow others to come into your life and accept, this is what I'm going through. Can you support me? And by creating more of a support and more of a community environment, you're going to be able to break down the stigma.
What kind of issues do you see a lot of students coming in with?
Well, I think Samantha or Chelsea, our other counselor, can speak to that a little bit more, but I do see students, academic stressors, family stressors, normal challenges. And the way I look at it, and that's why we call them wellness counselors, is if you have a toothache, you go to a dentist. If something else hurts on your body, you go to a doctor. If there's other emotional challenges going on for you, why on earth would you not take advantage of a service, especially a free service, to kind of get you back on the track that you were headed?
Did you want to add to that as to what kind of cases that students come in with?
I think she hit all the general points, to be honest. Like, you have your relationships, you have your school, you have your interpersonal style and your interpersonal style that's going on. And so how do you interact with your school environment, your family environment, your work, and yourself? And how do you bring it together to be comprehensive and complete?
What tips do you have for students to stay well on their own?
I think I'm going to defer to
the
therapist
okay.
on that one.
Well, it really depends on a case-by-case situation, right? But in terms of needing to stay well on your own, I always look at life balance. Life balance is key, and that's with different domains. It has psychological, work, religion, or even spiritual. And within this life balance wheel, when you look at it, are you living up to what you find to be a good balance for you, or are you having less of what you need? And depending on what your life balance is and what you're actually giving yourself will depend on how well you can give your resources for yourself.
Some people are concerned that they may become dependent on a therapist or a wellness counselor. How can you address that concern?
Well, that's always something we're concerned about as well, right? Making sure that there is a good power differential, making sure there's balance within the therapeutic alliance. And within this, we're always looking at ourselves as therapists or as counselors. How are we able to find a good balance for you and reflecting it back to the client? We don't want them to be dependent on us. We need them to maintain their self-esteem, their confidence, their self-balance. And by giving them resources to help themselves, they're doing all the work. So in terms, it's not us they're dependent on. They are dependent on themselves, and that's what we're fostering within the room.
The really empowering part of this program is that it is solution-focused brief therapy. So the whole time the student and the therapist are working on empowering ways to help the student become independent and get back to the life that they have had and want again. And I would think for any student, if they're worried or concerned about should they approach counseling or can they approach counseling, just come and fill out our referral form. That's just the first step, and then one of our therapists, the wellness counselors, will take it from there and actually have a conversation, have an intake to see, is this the right program or is this the right service? And then be able to provide other options or ideas if it isn't, but just take that first step of just fill in the form and just let somebody contact you.
Great. Do you have a final comment for our viewers?
We're always welcome for anybody who's willing to come in. And granted, we're not a crisis center, but we are here to help put you in the right direction if that is something you need. But everybody needs support sometime, and sometimes you need that objective opinion, and that's what we're here for.
Awesome. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
Again, this is Ashley Ching, Solano County's Miss Fairfield, with On Campus at Solano College Sports Network. Remember, respect yourself. Teach people how to treat you, and know you can walk away.
The exponential growth from the program from my first year to my third year now, that's what keeps me coming back and keeps me excited and just like fulfills me as a person.
It's so impressive, and we every time we walk in here, you guys are doing something different. It's great. It's
nothing but opportunities here, and we have sports to cover, we have the equipment.
Because the more ambitious you are, the more opportunities you'll have.
On-the-job training is huge.
Get the hands-on experience.
When someone asks who can do it, you know, you can raise your hand and say, I can do it. So
Joining the class was the best decision I ever made.
We're going to go to cut one. And cut one. Cross court to Audrey Jones. Audrey for three. And it's good! With 1.3 seconds left on the game clock. Audrey Jones with one of the biggest shots ever.
the sky's the limit, really, with what we can do here.